The newest Digimon season, Ghost Game, has been compared to Digimon Tamers a lot based on it going for a trio of protagonists and the overall darker tone so far, but this week we got the closest thing to a head nod from the creators themselves that they too recognized the connection between Tamers and Ghost Game when our new heroes met a Renamon evolution, Yokomon. Now this is technically a different Digimon than the Renamon Digivolution you're used to, Kyubimon, though still a Renamon evolution. Digimon has this unwritten rule, I think, where they will bring back creatures that are heavily associated with the past season, but they won't bring back a main Digimon like Vmon or Gellymon, for example. In 2020, we got Lopmon, but not Terriermon, for instance. Either way, for longtime fans, it was hard not to see this inclusion of Renamon's evolution as anything but a subtle head nod to Digimon Tamers fans. And that wasn't the only homage or reference to past Digimon series. I counted at least 2 more, but if you want to know what they were, I suppose you'll have to keep watching this review and discussion. Welcome back to the Digino, where we talk about Digimon usually every Sunday. Thanks for your patience this week, as I was out of town on a trip to New York, so I'm getting to this review a little later than usual. I also owe you a huge thanks because I shared last week that I'm trying to get the channel to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I asked you to consider subscribing. Now, normally on a good day, we get like 30, maybe 50 new subs tops, but last Sunday when I put out that video asking for your help, over 175 people subscribed and over 500 people subscribed last week. So thank you so much. We're so close. If this momentum keeps up, we're definitely going to hit 20,000 subscribers before December 31st, 2021. But so episode 6, The Cursed Song, we open up with some girls in a Japanese karaoke room singing a song, but not just any song, our first reference to a past Digimon series. They're singing the first ending theme from the 2020 Digimon Adventure reboot. You know, the one that had all the imagery of Matt/Yamato. Now, before you start the fan theories about how Digimon 2020 was possibly a show inside of the Ghost Game universe or something, I think Carney X is probably exactly right, that it's less some universal crossover and more Toei utilizing the license to this song while they still have access to it. But it was also a cool and creepy technique to use not just any song, but a song we, the audience, know, because having us hear a song we actually knew then get corrupted and deconstructed the way it did was really unsettling in a way that I don't think it would have been if we didn't know the song ourselves. On the other side of town, Hito, Rudy, and their Digimon start their day by visiting a shrine. Rudy is on the hunt for a real ghost, not a Digimon or a hologram, so that she can post about it on her social media account dedicated to supernatural phenomena. We meet Yokomon, that Renamon evolution, and the kids learn the thing the rumor mill was reporting. Yokomon was in fact a Digimon and not a real ghost or spirit. Rudy is generally way more lighthearted in this episode, which I really liked. Previously, she's been either paralyzed by fear when she was facing erasure in episode 3, or very serious like in episode 4 and 5. So it was really great seeing her personality shine in a more casual environment at the karaoke center this week. Kiroshiro's intro in this episode is also great. He just bursts out of a private karaoke room with Jellymon following and laughing. She's still calling him darling, by the way, and it definitely feels more romantic than maternal, like a school kid who shows their affection through teasing. We get 2 more scenes of these kind of karaoke room attacks, one of a random girl and then one of Rudy riding an elevator alone. I wouldn't have originally considered karaoke rooms a great horror setting, but the more you think about it and the more you see the episode, the Japanese style karaoke rooms being these isolated and soundproof rooms is quite spooky. Like if something went wrong in there, nobody would know to check in on you, at least not immediately. As I mentioned, Rudy is also attacked and it's very intense. Her, Angoramon, and even Jellymon conclude that she probably could have died if the team didn't rescue her when they did. After a failed attempt at confronting Sirenmon on the top floor VIP room, the culprit Digimon bursts out of the building into the city, into a drugstore, and then takes over a PA system and does her kind of mind-bending singing hypnosis thing to the entire city block. We take things into the digital field, that AR world, and here is where I personally saw the third homage to past seasons, was the background / skybox here. Very much had that hand-painted, kind of water painty feeling of the original 1999 adventure and of Zero Two's backdrops. It's hard to describe, but it was something that was definitely missing from 2020 Digimon, and it provided a lot of character to the original digital world 20 years ago. So I loved seeing in this new kind of digital field, AR field style world, those familiar backgrounds. Kiyoshiro and Jellymon get a few cool new moves mixed in before Gammamon steps up to the plate. I had heard online before watching this episode that the fight was again really short, but I didn't really agree. I thought there was a lot of cool action here, from the Jellymon stuff to the Gammamon flight to the Battle Gammamon and Angoramon team up that comes up in just a second. Gammamon gets swallowed by Sirenmon's Shadow Claw, but Battle Gammamon bursts out and is picked up by Angoramon, who is working as Battle Gammamon's personal helicopter. It's a great little sequence, really well animated, and a really clever idea for a combat scenario for sure. Sirenmon's attacks won't work if there's no place to reflect the sound blast, so Angoramon flies way up high, but this isn't the trump card of the episode. Instead, Sirenmon's still not defeated, so Hero decides to sing from his heart. Hero's bad singing bit is pretty good, if not a bit painful, because I was listening with headphones on really loudly, but Sirenmon loves it for some reason, or at least is happy that Hero tried singing or something like that. Quote, "It communicates what the singer was feeling, so I sang with all my heart." That's what Hero says. Then, "I've received your heart," Sirenmon says, and the others say, "These two understand each other." Sirenmon, "When I sang, everyone ran away. I understand now my singing was the issue. I'm going to train." So this was definitely my least favorite resolution in all of Digimon Ghost Game so far. I think even worse than the Pumpkinmon one, where we just kind of said, hey, friends don't carve faces into friends' heads, because we saw that Sirenmon came very close to actually killing Nudie, and I know that Mummymon did something similar and was able to have a redemption, but Sirenmon for some reason felt more malicious all the way up until the very end, where someone simply singing back changed her heart, even though people had been singing in the karaoke room all the time. She flies off, and maybe we'll see her again, maybe we won't. I'm not too interested in a Sirenmon follow-up right now, just because I thought the resolution was so strange. But at the end of the episode, with everything wrapped, Hero and Angoramon again comment on how Gammamon was able to evolve and then de-evolve. Quote, "Should the truth be known or remain unknown? Only those who know, says Angoramon. I don't think this is meant to be perceived as like a conspiracy where Angoramon knows more than he's letting on and is withholding information from the team. I think it's more like Angoramon doesn't know why Gammamon is able to do this, and he's just kind of being a philosopher here, like kind of philosophizing. Overall, very fun episode for me. I think the more time passed in this episode, the more I realized the private karaoke room is an excellent setting for a modern horror scenario. I loved all those callbacks I mentioned, the homages and head nods to previous seasons here. Even if the hand-painted kind of backgrounds was in my head, maybe that wasn't technically an homage, I definitely felt like it was reminiscent of the original series. I was actually very content with the fight scene in the final few minutes, but not so thrilled about Sirenmon's redemption. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but there were some episode 7 to 9 episode descriptions that were shared online a few weeks ago, and they do seem to hint that these Digimon we keep encountering are going to come back in the future and hopefully have plot relevance down the line. So maybe Sirenmon's story will retroactively impress me if they continue it, but we won't know until that happens. But yeah, what did you think about this episode? Did you like the characterization of everyone this week, the fight resolution, the Renamon line appearing in Ghost Game? As always, leave a comment so we can talk about it. If you liked the video, definitely leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, I totally understand, because YouTube is super good these days about recommending you the stuff you want to watch, but subscribing is more just like a personal favor to me at this point. It's like a little endorsement saying, hey, this many people really like this weird channel that talks about Digimon. So yeah, thanks everyone. I appreciate your patience. Talk to you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.